Some families buy peace by burying the person who tells the truth. 2 weeks before the winter holidays, my mother called to explain that I was officially disinvited from the family dinner table. My younger sister Chloe apparently required a celebration entirely free of tension and complications. In my family, tension was simply the code word they used to describe my presence instead of the massive lies they preferred to live inside. My name is Valerie Vance, and I am a licensed certified public accountant running my own firm. Numbers have always provided a safety that people cannot replicate because equations never lie to preserve personal comfort. 4 years ago, my parents were facing the immediate foreclosure of their childhood home after my father suffered a major medical emergency. I drained my personal savings and provided them $52,000 secured by a formal notarized promissory note. For a little over a year, they made the required $400 monthly payments before the checks completely vanished without a single word of explanation. They treated my documentation like a cruel joke because they believed family should never track debts. Around that same time, my dear grandmother Cora chose to place me in complete charge of her legal power of attorney and her bank accounts before she moved into assisted living. During a routine financial review, I discovered that nearly $10,000 had been mysteriously withdrawn from the personal checkbook of grandmother Cora. I immediately alerted the entire family and demanded a full independent audit to trace the missing funds. Instead of searching for the true culprit, my sister Chloe gently suggested that since I managed the accounts, the responsibility must lie directly with me. If you have ever been blamed for a mess you did not create just because you were the only one trying to fix it, you are not alone here. Drop a comment below right now and share your story, because I read every single one of them. And make sure to hit that subscribe button immediately, because families like mine always think they can silence the quiet ones, but they never see the ending coming. Now, let me tell you how that single lie began to ruin my entire life. That soft accusation did not create a loud argument, but it acted like a slow poison moving through our small town. My Aunt Lydia repeated the slander until local church members started offering prayers for my supposed moral failings. Even an anonymous complaint was submitted to my professional licensing board, though it was quickly dismissed for lack of evidence. I became the designated villain while my family collectively decided to ignore the actual probate court documents. Grandmother Cora passed away, and the systematic exclusion from family events grew worse with every passing holiday season. Last week, a delivery driver deposited a heavy cardboard box on my front porch containing the complete historical files from the care facility. Because the facility had been sold to a national corporation, they returned all original records to me as the primary legal representative. That box sat on my counter for days, holding the answers I desperately needed. While that package waited, I discovered that Chloe had officially removed me from the family holiday communications group chat. My Aunt Lydia then published a public social media statement celebrating the beautiful peace of their upcoming family gathering. The quiet cruelty was calculated to make me feel entirely erased from the family history. I finally opened the records box and began sorting through the medical logs and financial receipts. Near the bottom of the container, I located the explicit incident report that changed everything forever. A facility employee had documented that Chloe signed out the personal checkbook of grandmother Cora just days before the large unauthorized cash withdrawals occurred. The signature on that log matched the handwriting of my sister perfectly. The mathematical truth was finally complete, and the true source of the family betrayal was undeniable. The very next morning, my mother sent a message instructing me to leave the antique roasting pan of my grandmother on the back porch. They did not want my presence at the table, but they still demanded the utility of my belongings. I realized then that my mother was not a blind bystander, but the active coordinator of this entire deception. I scheduled an appointment with an attorney located 2 counties away to finalize my response. The legal professional confirmed that the original promissory note signed by my father was fully enforceable under state law. We drafted 4 separate certified letters containing cold objective facts completely stripped of emotional manipulation. I attempted one final peaceful resolution by bringing the court documents directly to the home of my parents. My father refused to open the screen door and later returned the folder completely unread with a note demanding pleasant behavior. The slander began targeting my accounting practice when a long-term client moved their business elsewhere due to church rumors. That financial injury forced me to take the certified envelopes directly to the local post office counter. Regular mail serves as a simple message, but certified mail establishes a permanent legal record. The clerk stamped the paperwork, and those 4 documents officially transformed the family dispute into a verified legal matter. The tracking notifications confirmed that all 4 envelopes reached their destinations simultaneously on Wednesday morning. Within hours, my cellular phone began vibrating continuously as an absolute avalanche of missed calls and furious text messages accumulated. My Aunt Lydia sent messages filled with capital letters, accusing me of destroying the health of my mother. By 9 that evening, my phone displayed 68 missed calls from family members who had ignored me for years. I listened to the frantic voicemails on the speaker system alongside my office assistant Darcy. My father was screaming about lawyers while my mother was weeping softly and begging me to preserve the holiday facade. Not a single person asked if the accusations were accurate because they already knew the truth. My sister Chloe left a final desperate message pleading with me to speak with her before our parents discovered the remaining evidence. Just before midnight, the bright headlights of a vehicle swept across my living room curtains and the front doorbell rang twice. I stepped outside onto the cold concrete porch to confront my father, my mother, and my sister standing under the yellow light. My brother-in-law Trent remained inside the running vehicle watching the scene from safety. My father immediately began shouting about family loyalty and the absolute shame of involving legal professionals. When my father stopped to breathe, I explained clearly that I had spent 3 years standing outside their door in the cold. Before my mother could offer a shallow compromise, Chloe stepped forward into the illumination. Her polished exterior was completely gone as she admitted that her husband had been unemployed for nearly a year. She confessed to taking the money of our grandmother to cover their secret mortgage payments and grocery bills. Chloe proudly explained that she maintained the beautiful image of the family while I merely wrote checks. She allowed the blame to fall directly on me because I was already the detached relative who managed numbers. My mother then pleaded with me to tear up the legal documents and join the holiday table under a fabricated explanation of a banking error. They were offering to sell my position back to me at the cost of another lie. I refused their offer gently but completely because my reputation was no longer available for purchase. I informed my father that he would resume the $400 monthly payments through the office of my attorney. I looked at Chloe and stated that she must send a written correction to every relative by the 1st of December. My mother wept openly, asking why I was destroying their holiday, but the time for cheap peace had passed. The vehicle eventually backed out of my driveway, leaving the evening completely silent. My sister sent the required written confession the following Monday, and the initial loan repayment check arrived shortly after. My teenage niece Natalie texted me privately and eventually joined my own holiday table along with several lonely neighbors. I cooked the holiday meal using the iron pan of my grandmother and realized that true peace requires absolute honesty. If you stayed until the very end, it means you know exactly how heavy the price of your own name can be. Do not let people walk over your peace just to keep their facade alive. Tell me in the comments if you think I handled this the right way, or if I should have taken them to court. Don't forget to subscribe for more real, unedited stories of quiet vindication, because the truth always wins in the end.